Good morning everybody. Haven't done an early morning walk for a while, so I thought I would do one this morning. 6:30 on Sunday. Good morning. As you can see, it is just about light, which is nice in the mornings now to have a little bit of light. You can start doing different walks, certainly at the weekends. During the week, a little bit more limited, with obviously working commitments and what have you. But it's been quite a busy week this week, if I'm honest with you. It's been half term here in sort of Hertfordshire, in Cambridge. I don't know if it's the same everywhere. I know they sometimes sort of stagger the weeks that the kids have off. Because people sort of do go out and try and do stuff. And obviously if you've got all the families and all the kids all trying to do the same things at the same time, it probably makes it pretty busy. Monday and Tuesday I was at work as normal, fairly uneventful. Wednesday, backtracking a little bit from Wednesday, Julie and I had been talking about next year, 2026, and obviously plans about what we wanted to do. Now the reason this has been discussed is twofold. Is next year is our 20-year anniversary. Now we were hugely affected, as everyone was, during COVID, or for both of our 40th. On both occasions we were supposed to be in America on family holidays. So we decided, or should I say I decided, and obviously discussed it with Julia, that we were going to do something nice for our 20th anniversary, like we did for our 10-year one. We went to Las Vegas. If you haven't seen the vlog, it's on the channel. Let's cross over. Ashra, come on. So we decided that we were going to do something next year for our 20, but also James finishes his GCSEs July 27. Now it seems ridiculous, we're not even March 25 and we're talking about July 27. Now the reasons for that will become very apparent when I let you know what the plans are. But next year we've got booked off work as it stands 3 weeks. Now 2 weeks in August, 1 week end of September, beginning of October. Now normally in August we would definitely go away for 2 weeks, but we decided next year that we are just going to go away for a week, and we're going to go to a cottage in North Wales. Now again, reason for that is, and the sole most reason, is that 27 we are going to Orlando, which will be doing Disney, Universal and maybe SeaWorld and Busch Gardens. It is a long way away at the minute, and ridiculously I've already started an itinerary for them, just to see whether we can fit it all in, and not just fit it all in but enjoy it, because I know, having been there twice, once with, once without Julia, that it is a lot of work, and it's important to get the happy medium of not always having to get up early to go to the parks, or have breakfast then go to the parks. You know, it is a full-on holiday with queuing and walking, so it is one of those that has to be planned, and that is why there is thought going into it even now, ridiculously. So that, by its own admission, will be a very expensive holiday. Those that have been there will know that that holiday probably will cost around £9,000 to £10,000 with spending money and everything else. I mean, obviously you can do as much or as little as you want, but to give you an idea, you're looking about 6 to 6.5 just to get there, with flights, car, hotel and the Disney and Universal parks, and that is not taking into consideration SeaWorld either at this stage. So quite a lot to think about there, and save for, more importantly. So that is why next year, summer holidays, we've taken a decision we've taken. Mum will be coming along, obviously everybody's health permitting. It'd be me, Julia, James and Mum. And then in October, Julia and I finally have booked to go to Orlando, just for us, for our actual wedding anniversary, which will be the 30th of September. That'll be our 20-year wedding anniversary. So that is definitely something to look forward to. Again, clearly not as cheap, as expensive as going for 2 weeks with all the Universal parks, because what we'll be doing is flying out on Saturday. I think it's quite an early flight. In fact, I know it's an early flight. I think it's about 9:30 in the morning, but that's quite good in a way, because you don't have to, waste the Saturday with, travelling and dilly-dallying. It's not a wasted day. We'll probably stay over the night before, so we're there, because if the flight goes at 9:30, which I think it does, you've got to be at the airport for 6:30. So it's going to be an early start, whatever the scenario. Park in the long stay car park or whatever the scenario is. We have to look into that nearer the time. Just a point of reference, guys, this is the high road. We have been along here before, but yeah, so we have not been down here before, I don't think, so we are crossing over. So yeah, going back to next year, we will probably stay the night before, and then have to be up probably about 5, be at the hotel by 5:30, park up, and then I think, from memory, you have to be at the airport 3 hours before, don't you? So I think calculations wise that's about right. Anyway, so we won't be doing the Disney parks, Universal or any of those. This will purely and simply be quite a relaxing week. There's a few things we'd like to do on our actual anniversary. I'm looking at a helicopter ride, which will take us over all the parks from the air, which I think will be pretty stunning. So looking into that. Icon Park also on the anniversary as well, which is the Florida Eye, which is the big wheel. May do Madame Tussauds, and there's also a SeaWorld option as well, but I'll see what Julie wants to do with that. I can take that or leave that, to be honest with you. And then we'll go out for a nice meal somewhere on our actual wedding anniversary. So that day is almost locked in, although not paid for yet. The day we arrive, which is a Saturday, by the time we get to the hotel it's going to be sort of, providing there's no delays, sort of late afternoon, early evening Florida time. So we'll probably just drive to, well, we're hiring a car, so we'll get to the hotel, get ourselves checked in, freshen up, then probably just go out for a nice meal somewhere. Had a few ideas from the many vloggers that we watch. There's some really useful information on some of these vlogs, you know, that people that go there regularly, and can't thank people enough for what they do, because you know, you almost feel like you've been there before you've been there. And I think that is so important. You know, a lot of the time when people go on holiday, and I get it, mind my step here, and I get it, sometimes there's an element that you want it to be a surprise, and I get it, but when you're going to a place like that where time is limited and it isn't necessarily the proverbial beach holiday, you want to try and do as much as you want to do, so it's important to sort of have a look at stuff so to get an understanding. You know, I'm not saying, you know, copy, you know, forgive the pun, word for word what people are doing, far from it, because it's your holiday and you do what you like, but it certainly gives you ideas on what you can and can't do and stuff like that. So that sort of early evening, it'll probably just be a sort of a chill out. The Sunday, I think it'll be get up for breakfast whenever we get up, go to Walmart, get a couple of bits in there for the room, and then sort of just, you know, see how the day unfolds, you know, what we want to do, and then the Monday, I think I've penciled in Cocoa Beach, which I'm really looking forward to. There's been a couple of people that have done it that we watched, you know, very recently, and it looks absolutely stunning, and I certainly prefer the look of that to Clearwater, although Clearwater is very nice from what it looks like. It is a longer drive, and also as we're eyeing up the bunnies over there, it's a longer drive. Traffic is bad around Tampa, so I've been told, so I just think, take the stress out of it. You are on holiday, if you're going to do something like that, that's possibly the best thing to do. Obviously do need to take into consideration that road going to Cocoa Beach does have tolls. There's probably other ways of doing it, but it'll take longer, so the tolls aren't a massive thing. And then you have to pay for parking when you get to Cocoa Beach. I think someone said it's about $20 odd for the day. No doubt that would have gone up by the time we go. And then the Tuesday, just a chill sort of probably shopping day, leisurely day. Wednesday we've spoken about with the helicopter ride, Icon Park, and whatever else grabs us. Thursday will be a chill day, and then Friday, now this is something I haven't even discussed with Julia, guys, so you'll be hearing this before she even does, but I'm looking at Florida Wild. Now I am going to put some messages on the sites that we are on, see if anyone has actually been. I'd be interested to know in the comments if anyone watching has been there and what their opinions are. It looks amazing, and you can get your admission ticket and an airboat ride. Just bear with me, guys. And an airboat ride, and it isn't very expensive. I think about sort of 40-50 quid each, which is expensive enough, but in the grand scale of Florida, you're not really that expensive. So, and then the Saturday, obviously, we come home. So, although I did choose when we were booking it the later flight. Now, the reason I've done that is just gives us a bit more time on the Saturday morning. If you want to do anything, go back anywhere, whatever. It always seems like a bit of a rush, but because we've got the car, you know, we've got at least somewhere to go and sit. So from that point of view, you're not sort of stranded. Like sometimes when you finish a beach holiday, you know, you have to check out your room by 10 o'clock and you don't get picked up till 4 or 5 o'clock, which happened to us in Egypt last year. It's a pain in the arse because you've literally, you know, you almost feel like you're stranded. Then you've got to get changed if you're sort of around the pool or on the beach. So it is a bit of a nuisance, but anyway, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the Saturday morning we'll be free, have a bit of lunch somewhere, then make our way to the airport sort of early afternoon. Obviously, again, you've got to be there 3 hours early, but I've heard Orlando immigration is a bit of a nuisance, so I'm probably going to allow a bit longer, to be honest with you, to get the hire car back, and then obviously gives us time, you know, to get through without the stress. We are going with Virgin, and they were really helpful at the shop in St Albans. Can't speak highly enough of Lauren. She let us in half an hour early, although it did say on the site the shop opened at 9, not 9:30, but she said to me it was 9:30 there. But anyway, not a problem there. I actually emailed her ahead with a couple of bits and pieces, explaining obviously what it was, you know, that 20-year anniversary, and if there's anything else that she could recommend. And she did come up with a few options. But none that really grabbed us. And because of the 27 holiday, I was very conscious about not spending loads of money next year, and all the holidays she sort of was recommending were a lot more, although they were all inclusive, but the hotel reviews weren't the best. And you know what we're doing next year with America, there's so many people that have been to this hotel, and remember guys, in America these sorts of hotels that we, you know, which is a Rosen we're going to, is just a base. You know, you're not in there all the time. By nature of the holiday you're going on, you're out and about more than you're in a hotel. Yes, of course it's nice to have it to go back to and have a bit of a chill and a rest, but the primary factor for the hotel is a base. Now, if you've got young children, you might think to yourself, oh, Disney or Universal, and that's fine, but take into consideration a couple of things. That you're going to pay a lot more for a start. If you do hire a car, which I don't think I'd want to rely this way. God, it's like a bog through here. If I fall over, guys, don't laugh. Been down here before, like when it's been like this. Just concentrate for a second. I wouldn't want to be relying on those shuttles and taxis and stuff like that. I know you save yourself money with the parking fees, but you're still going to have to pay some fee to get into the parks with the Ubers or the taxis. So are you saving yourself much? I don't know. And the convenience of just being able to get in a car and go wherever you want, pretty much like you are here, I guess. And also the Rosen, there's no resort fees as of now. Now obviously things like that do change. Just bear with me a second, Ezra's just doing her stuff and I'll be straight back. Right, sorry about that, we are back. So yeah, just so you know where we are, big field where you've seen with the drone before, and we have walked the other way, going towards the long walk that we did between the two villages. Again, all the vlogs are on the channel. So yeah, just going back to what I was saying, you know, about the hire car and the costs and what have you. All this needs to be taken into consideration, and sometimes I think if people haven't been before, three things: do your own research, ask loads of questions, and watch some of these vlogs that people do. Now, I'm not talking about the people that, you know, might only go like we are, you know, once in a blue moon, but there are people out there that go 2 or 3 times a year. I'll give them a shout out. Stephen Carroll, they are amazing for their age and what they do. Good luck to them, because you've got to enjoy life, whilst you can, and they do a lot, not just Florida but all over. So I will recommend listening to them. It's quite entertaining as well a lot of the time. And also the Night Striders, they do it slightly differently to Stephen Carroll. They stay in a sort of a villa, whereas Stephen Carroll, they stay in a hotel. Funnily enough, the same hotel chain that we're staying at. So we are looking at other options, maybe for 27. But I sort of want to, if we can, get the lay of the land when we're there. It might be a bit too late to make any sort of last minute decisions, but we'll certainly be looking when we're there at other places and see. But for what we want to spend, I'd rather have the Rosen, which is essentially clean, tidy. Don't get loads of space. It isn't the most modern place, but I'd rather spend a little bit less on the hotel and spend more when we're there on the stuff we want to do. And that's exactly what we did when we went to Las Vegas. We stayed at Bally's, which is now Horseshoe. And the people sort of turned their nose up. But I'll tell you what, that room in Bally's was absolutely unbelievable. Now, I'd well accept that somewhere like Bellagio, Caesar's Palace, other places of that nature, the rooms would be nicer again. I get that, but spend to your budget, because what you don't want to do is pay loads of money for the name of the hotel and then think, shit, I haven't got enough for what I want to do. So that is my tip, for what it's worth. So yeah, I think that sort of really sums up the next few years holiday wise. Big holiday wise, obviously there'll be other stuff we do, as there always is, but I can't remember the name of the place in Wales we're going to for a minute. I'll add it onto the vlog when I'll do the editing later, but that'll be, we are really close to the beach, and there's sort of pubs and a few sort of restaurants, and quite frankly I'm getting to that point now where if the weather's kind in the UK, which you've always got a 50-50 chance, especially when you go to Wales, if the weather's kind, I'll quite happily go to the beach. We're taking the dogs on this holiday as well, so that needs to be taken into consideration wherever you go. But yeah, I think we've done the right thing from the point of view of our budget. There's a lot of saving to be done over the next few years. I'm in a very fortunate position that I can save, or we both can save actually, so we're in a very fortunate position that we're able to do these things. A lot of people can't, and I do think as well, these Florida holidays especially, releasing the dates a couple of years in advance is the right way of doing it, because it gives you time to save up and also do loads of research. But before you book anything, like before we went to Virgin, I had done loads of research, and I'm still doing loads of research. And you might say, John, you're sad doing this all so far in advance, but I kid you not, guys, you will not regret it. I've said this before about itineraries. I said it on the New York chat I did a few weeks back, that before we even set foot in the airport at Heathrow or Gatwick, wherever it was, can't remember now, we knew exactly what we were doing. And yes, we had to change a couple of bits and pieces because of my own stupidity, but the long and short of it was, we didn't waste time not knowing what the hell was going on. I'd even booked places for breakfast just so we had a plan of action, and we did so much that week, which is exactly what I intend to do when we're in Orlando. Slightly different situation, certainly won't be as fast paced as New York. You know, we are all young enough that we could do that and sort of get, you know, go back to work. Came back on a Sunday, and James went to school on the Monday. We went back to work on the Monday. You know, we're young enough to do that, which will be a similar thing with Orlando next year. Although James, he's not coming, as has already been discussed. He will just be starting. I need to think about it. He'll be starting his second year his GCSEs then. Yeah, because he finishes year 9 in July this year. He'll be doing his options in a few weeks, then starting his GCSEs proper in September this year. So he's got a fun few years to come. I wouldn't say it to his face, but he's not a bad kid. He gives us a lot of grief at home at times, but at school he knuckles down and his teachers can't speak hardly enough of him, which is what I prefer, to be honest with you. But hopefully in the next sort of year or two he will start to realise schoolwork, you know, not only at school but home is just as important, because we really struggle to get him doing his homework. Anyway guys, I'm going to log off in a minute, because I've been rambling on enough. The point of this video was just to have a chat. Just a couple of other things before I do go. Thursday we went out for a very nice meal at the Old Bull in Royston for lunch. Really nice. Have a look at the if you knew, I don't think it went on YouTube actually, but if you have a look at my Instagram and TikTok, you will see the burger I had. It was amazing. And then Friday we went to London. We did Horizon 22, which is a free, yes you heard it right, free viewing deck. I think it was 58 stories to the top in the lift, and the views we had at the top were amazing. We had a very good day, very clear day, so that was unbelievable. Nothing remains free forever guys, so if it is something you're interested in, do it, because they sent us a survey about costings and stuff like that, and about doing interactive stuff, and we'll be happy to pay. And I said no, because London is expensive as it is. I'm sure the rent on that building they get from all the other companies that are in there. So if they can give a little bit back to people that, by the way, pay, you know, normally depending on where you're coming from, anything from 50 to 100 quid plus to get into London, then other activities you do, it becomes very expensive for families. So something free in London was absolutely unbelievable, and we were fortunate enough when we were in New York to go to the top of the Rockefeller, Summit one, and also World Trade. All had to be paid for, you know, so it is nice to have something, you know, FOC for a change. Yeah. Right guys, I don't know if you can see me. Oh, there we go, I'm here. Have a good rest of your Sunday. I think the weather's supposed to be a bit rubbish later on. A big game later on, Liverpool Man City. Keep it real. Please subscribe and like the channel, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks guys.